hopefully a month, called AppSa. And I've been working on that with my son, Julian, and some other people for 4 years. And it stemmed out of our project to sort of universalize the university, which was too big for me to manage when I got sick. And sort of we narrowed it in scope because we wanted to teach people how to write. And that's really hard to scale because you usually learn to write by having people read what you've written and critique it. And that's very labor intensive and expensive. So we built a writing program like a word processor that has built-in conceptual tools that aid in the conceptualization of an essay. So imagine when you're writing, first of all, you have to pick a good question because you want to answer it. It has to be a genuine intellectual enterprise. And so kids are never taught that. And so pick something important that you want to explore. And then, okay, so what are you doing when you're writing? Choosing words, forming phrases, organizing them into sentences, sequencing the sentences and paragraphs, sequencing the paragraphs into the chapter, and then chapter into books if you're going that far. But so it's a hierarchical enterprise. And so when you write, you have to get the word right and the phrase right and the sentence right and the sentence order right. And you shouldn't do all that at once because you can't, because it's too hard. So you write a rough first draft that's twice as long as the thing you're trying to write, and then you edit. You shorten the sentences, you pick the right words, you pick the right phrases, you rewrite the sentences. So we built in tools to guide people through this process to help them conceptualize their essay at the level of the word and the phrase and the sentence and the paragraph, and to build those ideas of multi-level editing into the process. And then we've tested it on a lot of people, and we have nice, elegant user interface. And we're hoping that, because one of the things I've learned is that words are power. No, wrong. Words are authority. Words are legitimate authority. And so without having your words in order, you have no legitimate authority. And that's the last thing you want, unless all you want is irresponsibility, but that isn't going to work out for you anyway. And so the pathway to success for virtually everyone is facilitation of their capacity to communicate. And so we're hoping, we really want to pull young men into using this product because they're the hardest market to target with such things and the most in need of it. And part of that is engaging them in an honest dialogue about what exactly writing is. It's like there's no difference between writing and thinking. And there's no difference between thinking and not failing. So you let your thoughts die instead of you. That's thinking. You test everything you do before you implement it. That's thinking. And writing is a massive aid to that process. And so if young men in particular were taught properly about writing and thinking, they would come to view those as like arrows in their quiver. So, or shields in their combat, or the means by which they aggregate their allies, or even more importantly, the means by which they serve themselves in the world properly. And like really, no moral overlay on top of this. Well, you know, you're a communicator, like you're a comedian, you're a master of words, you're a master of wit, you're a master of listening. That's why you're successful in this weird radical way that's completely unpredictable. And it's also the pathway to adventure. Get your words in order. And so that's AppSa. And like I said, I think if you go to my website or to appsa.app, or to my website, you can sign up for we're going to do a beta release, tested broadly to make sure it doesn't fall apart under use pressure and before we release it completely. But we're very excited about that because how to teach people to write is a really hard academic problem to solve. And the idea of building the writing tools into the software, if we got it right, maybe could at least in part address that problem. It's a massive problem. It's a massive problem, right? Most people come through university now without learning how to write. And that means they don't know how to think. And that means they don't know how to talk. It's not good. So there's that. And it's the book and the music and the screenplay.